how's it going? This is Hoiman, and if you watch my last video, then you'll know that this is pretty much the start of my relaunch of this channel. So I kind of stopped uploading these weekly vlogs last December, and then throughout that time I've just kind of been thinking about whether I should continue this channel or not. And after, as you know, after all these months of thinking, I finally decided that I would like to continue this channel. And I suppose the main reasons why I wasn't too sure about continuing, I guess one of the reasons is just lack of motivation. So with my mental health, like, my motivation is always really low for the most part, and it just reached a point where I just lost pretty much all motivation to continue these videos. But like I said, after these long months of taking a break, I've decided to try and get my motivation back to re-continue this channel. And I guess other reasons for unsure about this channel, I guess, is probably the lack of views on my videos. Like, I've been doing these videos for over a year now, and each video always gets quite low number of views, and that always kind of makes me feel a bit I guess underwhelmed. I don't know if that's the right word, but basically, because I kind of put some effort into making these videos, and because it doesn't get much views, it did kind of diminish my kind of motivation even further. But after these months of thinking, I've realized that, you know, in some of my videos, I always try and include stuff that's, I think, would probably entertain the viewer. But then I realized that this channel isn't really about like entertaining people in that way, I suppose. It's really more about me just kind of expressing like how I've been and how my week's been, how mental health affects me, and what I do to kind of tackle it, I guess. And so I realized that, you know, rather than try and think of ways to entertain my viewers, I just want to just be more real and true to myself, I suppose, and just kind of be more honest about what I'm actually going through and stuff. I mean, I also said in my last video that I'm going to try and make these videos more like diary entries, and this was kind of a suggestion from a close friend of mine. And basically, rather than just only focus on my mental health, I could also focus on just other stuff that I do during the week, I guess. And if you've watched my past videos, I'm sure you're aware that I've been applying for a disability travel bus pass, and I'm pleased to say that it actually was a success. So I did actually get my travel pass earlier. I think it's like January this year. So I've definitely been, I guess, more independent this year. Like, I've been traveling on my own throughout various locations, not too far, but, you know, just like going out on some days just to explore my surrounding neighborhood and cities, I suppose. So I feel like this year I've definitely been a bit more independent and just kind of like taking a bus or trains and just traveling, and then, you know, figuring out how to get home and stuff. So I think I've definitely learned quite a lot of more independent skills this year. If you watched my last video, I mentioned that during Christmas time, I started to develop a bit of a cough and a bit of a fever. And at that point, I wasn't sure, but a few days afterwards, it got quite serious, and I decided to take a flow test, and it was actually confirmed that I did actually contract COVID. And fortunately for me, it wasn't severely serious. Like, I didn't need to go into hospital or anything. I basically just had a bit of a headache, a bit of a fever, and basically just a really sore throat. So I kind of just, stayed in bed for the most part and just kind of rested, really. And it wasn't just me, like my mum caught it as well. Some of my family members and cousins also caught it as well. So it was definitely, a bit of a bug going around Christmas time. But fortunately for all of us, we've all recovered from it now. And at that time, I had 2 vaccine jabs as well. So I think it definitely helped me during that time. But yeah, it's, from in my experience, catching COVID felt a bit like getting a cold, really. But I know, COVID's a lot more serious, but I suppose because I had the vaccine, it did help quite a bit. But yeah, like, we're still in a pandemic, and although a lot of restrictions have been lifted this past year, resulting in pretty much everything reopening, and face masks aren't really required in certain countries anymore. But I'd just like to say, even though it feels like the pandemic's over, it really isn't. Like, COVID is still out there, and apparently there's always new variants happening. So even though everything's opened up and there isn't really any social distance rules anymore, I'd still like to keep safe and, encourage all of you to be safe as well. I guess in other news, if you've been following me in my past videos, I was still reworking on my second book, and I'm pleased to announce that I've finished the cover, and it's been republished now, so it's available to buy and stuff now. And in that time I've been taking a break, I also reworked through my 3rd and 4th book as well, basically just readjusting some grammar, changing small details, and just overall making some improvements, and also new covers. So I'm pleased to announce that they're both available to buy as well. Since republishing those books, I'm actually working on my new book now, and I've been working on it since, I want to say, April, May time. So yeah, the overall structure of it is, pretty well thought out in my head, and I've currently done, I think it's like 8 chapters so far. So yeah, this is actually quite a old project that I kind of made quite a lot long time ago, but yeah, I'm just deciding to turn it into a book now. So yeah, overall I think it's going well. I will say my motivation lately hasn't been that good. Like, usually I work on a book a little bit every morning, but for the past few weeks I've not really just been working on it much, just due to lack of motivation. But I think overall it's still going okay. And then I guess in other news, I just feel like this year I've changed quite a lot in myself quite a bit. So I just feel like overall I feel I've matured quite a lot this year. Just thinking more kind of, I guess, more sensible sort of things, I think. So just kind of, thinking about what places I'd like to visit, or thinking about what kind of clothes I'd like to wear, or how I like to express myself. I mean, I've even gotten into wearing rings now, so yeah, I just feel like I've changed quite a lot as a person this year, but at the same time I still feel for the most part myself, well, hopefully. But I've also, like, if you follow me on my other channels, like I have another channel called Collecting with Hoiman, which is basically like I have a hobby in collecting figures and figurines of various characters from various games and shows and stuff. And I've been collecting since 2011, and you know, that's like just a bit over 10 years now. But at the start of this year, I've decided to actually just, you know, quit collecting and just been selling a lot of my figures this past year and only deciding to keep the ones that mean the absolute most to me. So I just feel that, you know, after buying all these figures, you know, these figures aren't cheap as well. They're really expensive collectibles. And, you know, I always end up spending an awful lot of money, and then also having many figures takes up a lot of space as well. So yeah, overall I just feel like, you know, due to money and space, and also me just kind of losing quite a lot of interest in figures as well this year, I've decided to, you know, just quit collecting, sell a ton of my figures, and just keep the ones that mean the most to me. And this wasn't a easy decision for me as well. Like, I spent quite a few months thinking about whether I should quit or continue. But in the end, I decided to actually quit and just keep the figures that I like, well, mean the most to me, and just leave it at that. And I will say that, you know, selling all these figures kind of brings a sense of relief to me. For one, it, you know, gives another person a chance to get the figure, because these figures, you know, some of them are quite hard to find and stuff. So it gives me relief to give it into, well, basically pass a figure onto someone else who would appreciate it as well. But it also gives me release to kind of let go of these figures as well. If, like, it makes me not have to worry about so many of my belongings and stuff, and it just feels like, you know, just letting it go, passing it on to someone else, and just kind of freeing up space and kind of freeing up myself as well. So it's definitely brought some sort of strange sense of release for me. But yeah, those are, like, I guess those are the main things that's happened to me this past year. But in terms of my mood, so I've seen the doctor about twice this year, and each time, so the first time early in the year, my doctor basically decreased some of the dosage of my existing medicine, but also introduced a new medication to it. And I already voiced my concerns about trying something similar, because I had this medication before and it didn't really work well for me. But I was, you know, inclined to give it a try, since my mood wasn't that great to begin with before anyway. So I tried the new set, and overall, again, it didn't really work for me. I just started feeling kind of confused and really weird in my head, and just didn't really know what to make of it in the end. I just felt wrong. So I decided to stop that new medication and just continue on the dosage I was on, but at a decreased dosage of my medication. And then that went, like, I just had lower motivation, and again, didn't feel all that great on a new dosage. So I saw the doctor again sometime in summer, and then they basically just increased my medication back up almost to where it was before. I think some of them was higher, And since then, I've just been feeling really strange. Like, my mood just feels really all over the place. Like, one second I'll be like full of motivation and just want to like, yeah, I want to go out and go to this place. But then I'll get dressed, get ready, and then the next second I'll just be like, oh, I just don't have the motivation. I just don't care about going out today. I just don't know, just the complete opposite of what I wanted to do before, basically. So I'll just get undressed and then just start feeling kind of sad, but also just in the next second I'll just feel joyful, and you know, my mood just goes all over the place. Like, it's just a whirlwind of weird moods going on almost at every second in my head. And also with the higher dosage, I feel that I've just been not able to express emotion. Like, wherever I go or whatever I'm doing, I just can't. My face is always just a blank stare. Like, I can't really smile or, you know, react to my surroundings. Like, I just feel like a zombie, basically. Just no emotion. And, you know, I want to express emotion, especially when I'm speaking to someone. I just can't seem to, you know, express the emotion of what I'm saying. And, you know, it almost makes me afraid that I might appear rude to the person I'm speaking to. So I know that the medication I'm taking does affect moods and emotions. So, you know, I just haven't been feeling all that great in my mood these past few months, and I desperately just want to speak to my doctor again and, you know, just basically want to adjust my medication. And fortunately, I am seeing them again next month. So yeah, just a few more weeks until I see them, and then see where it goes from here. So this video was pretty much a recap of what I've been doing this past year in my break since the last video. So basically just catching you up on how I've been doing, what's changed, what's happened, what my mood's been like. And obviously there's a lot more other stuff that's happened as well, but you know, it will take me almost forever to go through it all in one video. So for this video, I'd like to stop it here for now, and then in the next video, I suppose, talk more about what I've been doing in the year, and also just go back to actually talking about what I do throughout the week. So this has been quite a longer video, but I hope you've enjoyed listening to me and my story and my life. And yeah, just we'll leave it here at that, and hopefully I'll see you next week. So I guess that's pretty much it for this week, so hopefully I'll see you next Saturday. That's it for this video. My name is Hoiman, and please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And remember, always look forward, keep hope alive, and remember, you're somebody.